Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back in just a few moments. Public television really needs your support. Please call that number on your screen. Thank you so much. Here we are.
Here we are.
Welcome back. There's a number there on your screen. If you're liking what you're hearing, we encourage you to pick up the telephone, call and support your public television station. It's very, very important and very urgent. I'd like to make one little correction to that observation of Mother Teresa. When I put that in the book and I read it there, it was taken from some works of Mother Teresa, but I found out later that a man named Kent Keith wrote that in 1968. She carried it with her, and it was a part of her book, so I've made that correction. And Kent, I've talked to Kent about it, and he's received a wonderful advance. He said to me, I'm very honored to have anything I wrote when I was in my 20s attributed to someone as wonderful and powerful as Mother Teresa. He didn't take umbrage about it at all. And it's all come back to be something very helpful and very positive for him and everyone else as well.
Well, thank you for making that correction. Yes. It is a wonderful piece of work.
Yes,
it really is empowering to hear it.
Absolutely. And I hear the telephone starting to ring.
They are ringing, and that's great. We have people calling the station right now making pledges, and you can do the same. Wayne, I know that you wanted to talk about the idea of magnificent obsession and what that all means.
Well, it was a movie that I saw. It's one of those schlocky movies that was made back in the 50s or 60s with Jane Wyman and Rock Hudson and so on. But the idea behind it was really there was a very powerful spiritual message. We were talking about it in the green room before we came on. And the idea was that you learn to give without taking credit. Very often when we give, we want something back in return, but the ultimate in giving, it's like that observation from Kent Keith that Mother Teresa was attributed to. If people are cruel, be kind anyway. If people, even in America today, the whole idea that what you spend years building, someone may destroy overnight. Build anyway, he said, and she said as well. And in Magnificent Obsession, if you haven't got that, you can rent that, I think, someplace. Yeah. But the message is learn to be able to give and expect nothing back in return. And when you do that great and wonderful things happen for you as well. And I think that's one of the things that we do here on public television. Sometimes it appears as if we're out here begging people, but in a sense, what we're doing is we have an obsession ourselves. Our obsession is to keep these frequencies alive, to keep public television alive. And the only way that we can keep it alive is by asking you to make these contributions and offering you the wonderful kind of gifts that we're offering you. And I encourage you to make $1 a day contribution for the next year for public television. If you do, we're going to send you what I call a whole enchilada. And that whole enchilada includes 2 audio tapes, it includes 2 videotapes, it includes 2 hardcover books, and it includes an entire tape seminar that people paid almost $400 to attend. We'll send you the whole enchilada, the whole thing, and I'll show it to you in just a few moments.
And Wayne's going to get to do his live demonstration of that in just a moment. Right now, I'm going to share with you the thank you gifts that have to do with this particular program that we're watching right now. There's a spiritual solution to every problem. This is the hardcover edition of the book of the same name, and that's on our thank you list, a choice for you at the $120 level of support. Wouldn't it be wonderful, even as you're watching this program, to know that you'll have this book to read, to treasure, to share with others, to put on the bookshelf perhaps for a while, but then to pull down again when you need a little bit of inspiration from Wayne. You'll have it in those words in that book. We also have 2 other ways for you to continue to enjoy what you're listening to and benefiting from right now, and that is to take either the home video of the program at the $100 level or the home audio at the $60 level. And that way you can watch or listen to these programs again and again, share them with other people, get a group of friends together or a family member with whom you'd like to begin an important dialogue about these kinds of issues, and you'll really be able to extend the value of watching this program by taking any one of those thank you gift choices. Those are all options for you on our thank you list. Wayne is going to tell you about the enchilada in just a moment. What we hope you won't consider to be an option as you watch today is the option not to make a membership pledge, because that sends a negative message, and we know, especially now that we've learned so much about it from Wayne, that you intend to send a positive message and positive energy to this public television station. And the way you do that is not by abstaining from this voting process, but by stepping forward and saying, yes, I'm going to do this. It's important to me. It's important to my family. It's important to my community. It's time for me to do the right thing. The right thing takes about 2 minutes of your time and as few or as many dollars as you choose to invest. What you'll be receiving in return is 365 days of wonderful public television. So make your call right now. Volunteers are standing by. Wayne?
Thanks, Cynthia. Dyer. This is Dyer. That's Dyer over there. We're known as a big team, you know, across the country. Everyone's talking about the Dyer team. I don't hear the phones ringing as much as I'd like to, and I really encourage everybody to pick up your phone right now, call that number on your screen, and make a contribution. And think before you do about whether or not you can afford $1 a day for public television. I know it's a major contribution to ask of people, but it's also a very major contribution that you're making to raising not only the funds to support public television, but to raise the consciousness of this country and to create a place where we have more of the kinds of ideas of St. Francis in our lives. More love in response to hatred, more peace in response to, sadness and so on, more forgiveness. And I think forgiveness is one of the things we have to look at and talk about. You know, Mark Twain once said that forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. We have to learn to be able to give. The greatest spiritual teachers who ever walked among us ask us to be able to send love in response to hatred, to send forgiveness in response to injury. And so what we've done is we put together this package to teach these kinds of ideas. And as a lady who's right here to my left was telling me that when she put this on and her children were 5 and 6 years old, they would become engrossed in it. They would talk about it. I can't tell you how much mail I get from young people who had parents who put on a video in the home, who put on a tape, and they write me back. They say, you know, I got involved in this when I was a young kid, and now I'm teaching it myself. So you can really change the whole energy of your home as well. And if you're willing to send $1 a day for public television, we're going to send you the following items. You can see it there on your screen right now, the whole enchilada. We're going to send you 2 audio tapes, an audio tape of the program that aired prior to this, called My Top 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace, based upon many of the graduation speeches that I've given over the years, a wonderful gift to give to anybody on the path. And we're also going to send you an audio tape of the program that is airing right now. And we'll be coming back to that in just a few moments to see the conclusion. And by the way, when the show is over, don't go away, because my daughter's going to be singing. I'm going to show you some of that bonus material as well. She sings Amazing Grace with the choir there. It's a beautiful experience. So we'll send you 2 audio tapes. We'll send you the 2 videotapes, a video of the program that aired prior to this, the 10 Secrets, and there's a spiritual solution to every problem with that additional bonus material that you can't see or get anyplace else other than on these audios and these videos. And then these 2 hardcover books, both of which are most important books I think I've ever written in my life. I know they are. The 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace, a book that takes the 10 most important ideas that I think human beings can have and learn to live a deeper and a richer experience of life. They're very powerful. I've had great reaction to this book. It's been available on public television. It's now available everywhere, but it's something I'd like you to think about in getting. And it's 165 pages. It's a soft, it's just a soft, beautiful book, a hardcover soft book. It's what they call a puffy book. And there's a spiritual solution to every problem, the companion book to the show that is airing right now, that is based upon the bringing higher energy to the presence of lower energy and nullifying and changing it. So we've got 2 hardcover books, the 2 audios and the 2 videos, and then the centerpiece of all of this, we have the entire program that was up at the upstate New York at the Omega Institute. We taped every moment of it. This is the CD version. This is the tape version. You can get either one of them when you make your call. It's 11 hours. People paid just $1 under $400 to attend this all day Friday, all day Saturday, and a half a day Sunday. We'll send it to you. We taped every moment of it. It's completely live. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be entertained, you'll be compelled, you'll be educated. I think you're going to love these tapes. It was an extremely wonderful weekend up at Omega. We taped every moment of it, and it'll be yours. So there it is. That's the whole enchilada. It's an entire tape seminar that costs $400 to attend almost. 2 audio tapes, 2 videotapes, 2 hardcover books, all for the price of $1 a day. You write it off on your taxes, and you know that you're also making a wonderful contribution to raising the consciousness of this country. I start getting excited when I think about this. I love the reaction I get when people say, I bought the whole enchilada. I'll be walking through an airport, someone will say, I got the whole enchilada. Dr. Wayne Dyer, I got the whole enchilada. Thank you, thank you. There's lots of wonderful, believe me, there's more than $365 worth of information and wonderful things that are going to happen to you in your life if you make that contribution. One of the things that I've always said is that whatever you give away, you get back tenfold. What goes around comes around. I believe that. I tithe. I've been doing that my entire life. And every time I give away, I get back tenfold. So if you make that contribution, it's a pretty good chance that you're going to get a major something showing up in your life in the way of abundance. Think about it. support public television. There's no commercials on this station. There's no support by the government on this station. Very little support, I should say. Mostly we are supported by your willingness to make yourself a member of the station. Call the number on your screen. Cynthia?
All right, let me run through all of the thank you gift, the individual thank you gift choices for you, because I know people have been calling and asking about them. Let's start with the items that have to do with there's a spiritual solution to every problem, and this is the hardcover book, which is a choice for you on our list at the 120 level. Now, there are choices as well. As Wayne told you, the audio versions of that program are available on home video at the $100 level or an audio cassette at the $60 level. We haven't had a chance to show you in a while the individual levels for the items from the first program, 10 Secrets, and you'll be able to see those. The book is available at the $75 level, and it is a wonderful book, and it makes a wonderful gift. I know lots of people have chosen to actually take 2 copies of this book as their thank you, so you can keep one and send one or give one to another person. And then finally, the audio and video versions of the 10 Secrets program, again, available at the $100 level or the $60 level, and any one of these is a great choice. But believe me, the enchilada is really the way to go if you're thinking about that. Then you won't have to choose among all of these great things. You'll have the whole package, the whole enchilada, and you'll be able to avail yourself of all of this wonderful material and share it with other people. Because really and truly, I think that's part of the power behind this message, is empowering yourself to be on the right pathway and then helping to bring others along and to see the light as well. And you can help all of those good things happen when you call this station right now with your pledge. The number's right there on the screen. It takes a couple of minutes of your time. It brings you wonderful dividends of programs that you watch right here on this station week in and week out. And that great sense of satisfaction that you've taken a step forward and done something that perhaps has been on your mental to-do list for quite some time. You've heard the message like this before on this station. You've thought about becoming a member, and for one reason or another, you haven't taken any action yet. Well, let's have today, right now, be the time that you decide to become a member of this station, to take one step forward, and to do something positive. You know, Wayne, you must hear from people all the time who are looking for the magic bullet, the one little magic thing, the magic pill, the magic change that's going to change their lives. And really what it comes down to is you have to do the work, right?
You do have to do the work, but also a moment like this, a show that you're watching like this, an idea that might come across. You know, the whole idea for Spiritual Solution came out of one sentence that I got in studying something called A Course in Miracles, and it said, you don't have any problems, though you think you do. And it's like, it's in here, and how the way that we think creates these things that we call problems in our life. And I wrote an entire book based upon one little idea. One idea from one of these tapes can really transform your life. In fact, I want to tell you a couple of stories.
I would love to hear these
we were talking about them back before, and I thought I'd like to put them right out here on this show. This book, Spiritual Solution to Every Problem, this program that you're watching right now, it's really, as my executive producer who's here tonight, Nikki Vittel, said, it's a blueprint for living. She said, tell them that. It's a blueprint for living. And it really is a blueprint for living. It's a whole idea of there's a way to bring, when you're in a low energy field like a negativity, hatred, anger, bitterness, stress, tension, depression, fear, you have the option at any moment to bring a higher energy to the presence of that. And when I mean a higher energy, I mean a spiritual energy, to the presence of that low energy. And you can convert it. You can bring it back to your source, to something higher. I was out in San Francisco at station KQED, and I was on the air. We were doing what we're doing here, raising money for public television, talking about it, getting excited, and the telephone rang, and one of the volunteers came over and said, you've got to talk to this woman. I said, I really can't do too many of those because that's a huge station. They had about 80 visitors out there. She said, no, you've got to talk to this woman, and she just insists on it. So I went over, and you could tell that she was breathing hard, and she was very nervous. She said, my mother has not spoken one word for the last 11 months. She's been in the hospital. We don't know. Nothing has been wrong with her. They've done all the tests. She just has refused to speak. And she said, suddenly, she said, in the middle of this show, the telephone rang, and it was my mother. And she said, she called me by name, and she said, the man that is talking about those things, she said, I want you to get that program. That's going to help our family. Okay? And the daughter was just saying, you can't, she said, it was like a miracle for her, just watching this. Wow. Then the next day, I flew from San Francisco to Maryland, and I was doing Maryland Public Television. And on Maryland Public Television, a woman called, and she said, I got married 9 years ago. My sister refused to come to the wedding. I haven't spoken to her in 9 years. I've been filled with hatred. She said, while I was watching you talk about the St. Francis Prayer and a spiritual solution to every problem, she said, that hatred that I've carried around in me suddenly turned to love. She said, and I felt such overwhelming, compelling love for my sister. She said, I picked up the phone and I called my sister for the first time in 9 years, and we are having lunch together.